Now, every single day in this new month is special to us. And wherever you are watching us, it's the best thing happening on television right now.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. It's the 5th day of February 2020. It's time to wake up and seize every opportunity that the world is going to throw at you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just hits you in the face and you're like, oh!
It's a little bit dark, but it's a little bit dark, but we're already like a ray of sunshine coming to your home this morning. There's Titi over there, there's Yomi, and there's Tokwe in the kitchen.
Yeah.
With all smiles.
Smile it up.
Hi, good morning, people.
Look at that dress though. Like it's just popping. Goodness me. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Thanks.
You need more looks like this.
Really?
Honestly, I love
all morning.
I love it. But you know, it's gonna be a really packed show. We have loads to talk to you about. And well, we advise you to stay with us till the very end.
Yes, indeed. We're streaming live right now at tvcnzimen.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
My name is Titi Layo Oyinson.
Yes, indeed. I already introduced you earlier. You just had to stick
I
that in there.
Had to say my, it's just a thing. It doesn't feel like we fully started until we actually say our full names.
Yeah.
But
use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on the show. Of course, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, if you want to send in comments and also participate in the competition that we're talking about during this Valentine period.
I just realized that there's some people out there that haven't downloaded our app. Android, iOS, you can visit those stores and get our app right now so you can watch us from anywhere in the world.
Very nice. Anyway, straight to this morning's highlights. We're going to be starting the show.
And for our first musical performance, we have Afro-pop artist Lexi stepping into the studio.
The way you rolling, I really know that you want to kill me now.
Wednesdays are for talking about health. And Dr. Lawson will be joining us this morning to talk about bone health with focus on legs, looking at bow legs, normal legs, and knock knees.
After that, we have Timmy Lane, popularly known as Timmy Lambo, coming with a second musical performance for us.
On relationship, we will be talking about the little things that matter in relationships with Aremu Olalekan Oluwatobi.
On Home Makeover, we have a female furniture maker. She's going to be talking about wood furnishings for our homes. Now, you don't want to miss this one.
Right after that, we are going to be beaming the spotlight on Tewa Onosaya, the brain behind Exquisite Magazine.
And then finally, we'll be joined by an award-winning filmmaker. And this filmmaker goes by the name of Ekene.
And I definitely want to see.
That was deep.
See the producer of
one.
this
That
movie.
was a
Have you
deep
seen the
one.
movie? It was
know,
really
I know.
interesting.
Really
Also, overview of this is Chris meets Zainab in his dreams.
Oh, wow.
So it's not real. So he meets her in his dreams every day. And then they start a relationship in his dreams.
Oh, my goodness.
But now happens that in real life, he now meets a girl.
Spiritual
And he
husband.
wants to get married. Oh, please. Did you just think?
And then he has to break up with
And he
one
has to
in
break
his
up with her. And that's what she's like. How is she
probably
supposed
why
to?
I've not watched this.
Really?
No, but they're really good actors. And from what we saw there, you wouldn't even believe it was a
A
dream.
dream,
you
yeah.
know?
I haven't even seen it. I just got the gist.
Very interesting storylines out there.
Yeah,
Really
very interesting storylines. I mean, if I did meet someone in my dreams,
I
So
would
that
prefer you
would
met
be-
someone of your dreams, you know, not in them. Like,
The man in my dreams.
are you now joining
Yeah,
me to do spirit
I don't
husband?
know, man.
The
I'm
man
not
in
there.
my dreams.
The man in my imagine meeting someone in your dreams, then just bumping into the person in real life.
How would you recognize that as the same person? Like that?
Someone that you haven't you seen people in your dreams that you've never seen before?
No. I'm not getting into this conversation.
So anything that happens while I sleep, I don't take too seriously.
You have
So
all those evil spirit dreams.
yeah. So if I sleep and I dream about something and I wake up, I'm not going to take whatever I dreamt about seriously.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even
so
if it's like some serious, scary health challenge or something like that. So you're not one of those people that sees a family member and then you now call them in the morning.
I had this dream
I
about
saw
you.
This dream. You don't
so
do
let's
that.
pray. Let's pray to God. Oh, wow.
It's a talk for another day, but it's always important not to read too much into dreams because you can then
Bring them to life.
not bring them to life. You can walk in error. So if something is a projection of maybe a particular fear that you have, or a particular experience that you've had before, which is now being reflected in your dream, you could then take it too seriously and then act out in the wrong way. So you need to be very careful when it comes to issues of dreams.
Okay, on a lighter note, please, all our dreams. Valentine is next week Friday.
Yes.
Oh,
So
next week
that
Friday.
you could be meeting the man of your dreams, not
and
in
the
your
woman
dream.
of your dreams.
You man of your dreams could be someone you would meet right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah.
We're having a blind date segment of the show for that particular show, and we're already taking entries. We're trying to find out.
Yeah, we were supposed to put out a notice.
If you want to meet your tall, dark, and handsome,
You might be able to do it right here on the show.
Or if you want to meet a beautiful lady as well,
Yes.
that's also an opportunity. for you.
and bring roses for her.
Speaking of roses, you know we've been talking about this love
Don't bring
totems
roses
thing.
for me, please.
It's not roses. It's not. If it's not roses, it's not jewelry, and it's not a house and a
Chocolates.
car.
It's money.
What is money? Really?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Money?
It's money.
Money is a good expression of love. It represents you.
Strong perfumes, like very nice perfumes.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Titi, nobody wants to be sending
I
you
don't know.
handwritten letters. As in which kind of
Like where did all the
affordable
love go? Where
is
did the
that?
poetry go?
Who be this?
Where did the poetry go? Where did the nice songs go? You know, like actually.
nothing. I have
Remember when they used to take record players to women's windows and
Yeah.
start playing, and then the woman looks out
when,
her window?
That was when we were children.
I can't remember.
Reality has set in.
Money.
And
Speaking
you
of
realize that you have to
realities.
live. Anyway, we have to take the news now. And we begin with the pledge by the United States to support efforts by Nigeria to combat corruption at all levels. Washington also commends President Muhammadu Buhari's personal commitment to fight against corruption. This was revealed in a statement after the signing of the deal between the U.S., the bailiwick of Jersey, and Nigeria. President Buhari also got the thumbs up for the return of more than $308 million looted by General Sani Abacha. In the 1990s, assets were stolen by the former military ruler and stashed abroad. More than 20 years later, they are now being returned to Nigeria. The federal government says the recovered funds will be used for infrastructure projects in strategic economic zones across the country. And the House of Representatives is seeking a diplomatic resolution of the travel ban imposed on Nigeria by the United States. Lawmakers plan to interface with relevant government agencies and diplomatic missions to unravel circumstances that led to the restriction and prevent an occurrence. They also urged President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet to expedite necessary actions that may lead to the review of the cancellation of the ban. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by Yusuf Tajuddin. Lawmakers have rejected a motion to evacuate Nigerians in China following the outbreak of the coronavirus. They voted massively against the move raised by Benjamin Okezie, who says China has better facilities to handle the situation than Nigeria does. Despite efforts by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, to calm the lawmakers and allow Mr. Okezie to move his motion, they denied him the opportunity. And to our coverage of the coronavirus, the outbreak has killed 492 people worldwide, the majority of which are in China, and infected more than 24,500 people across 25 countries. Close to 60 million people remain under lockdown in China, with 3 cities reporting over 1,000 confirmed cases. Around 3,700 people are being held on a ship in Japan after a passenger who had departed the vessel tested positive for the virus. There are 3 Chinese cities with more than 1,000 cases of coronavirus. Authorities are allowing 1 representative from each household to leave their home every day to go out and buy groceries. Now, the Lagos State government has inaugurated a resilience strategy document with the objective of identifying challenges and opportunities to develop individuals in the state. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Commissioner of Economic Planning and Budget, explained that this move attests to the readiness of his administration to provide a legacy of good governance to residents in the state. He added that the document will also provide an empirical background for all government policies. Aid plans to speedily transform the state into a more resilient city.
The entire resilience strategy has to do with ensuring that Lagos is resilient. So it doesn't matter what we build around Lagos, it can fail if we fail in the area of resilience. And so that strategy is important to ensure that the people of Lagos are productive. So it stands on three pillars, one of which has to do with building an efficient city, which is where everything we are doing around transportation, everything we are doing around building a broadband network around Lagos, anything we are building around the environment sits.
The function of this is to plan for Lagos and see what will happen to Lagos in future, so that Lagos can be well planned for better, greater Lagos. Resilience strategy tells a lot about what we have done before and how we are going to put the things in perfect position, so that when there is any problem, we can always live to it and enjoy. The enjoying aspect of resilience is what we are looking at.
Now over to Kenya, where Kenya's former and longest-serving president, Daniel Arap Moi, died yesterday at the age of 95. The current president, Uhuru Kenyatta, has ordered a period of national mourning and all flags to fly at half-mast until a state funeral is held later. Mr. Moi ruled the East African nation for 24 years, longer than any other leader since independence. But his legacy of corruption continues to haunt the country. Then vice president, he came into power in 1978 when President Jomo Kenyatta died. Diplomats say an attempted coup transformed him from a cautious, insecure leader into a tough autocrat. There was no immediate explanation for Moi's death, but he had been in and out of hospital with breathing problems in recent months. He is credited for keeping Kenya relatively stable compared with its troubled neighbors, and he worked for peace in the region. Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. Let's take a look at the weather forecast, and when we return, sports news after the break. Today is Wednesday, the 5th of February, 2020, and we started with the nation with the headlines.
It says here, Operation Amotekun. NLC bishops back security outfit. Governors IG to meet. Attorneys General fine-tune bill and clerics slam federal government. The story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 7. It also says here, $318.4 million recovered Abacha loot for Lagos-Ibadan Road. Others, Nigeria, US, Jersey sign agreement. It also says why government is seeking $17 billion loan from China by minister. $8.6 million cash seized at Lagos Airport. EFCC takes over probe. On Buhari, Muslims are 90% of insurgency victims, it says. Killings worry the JNI. And I'll wrap it with this one. Siblings sell sister's baby for 350,000 naira. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
Let's take a look at the Vanguard. I'm talking about insurgency. 90% of Boko Haram's victims are Muslims, says President Buhari in article published in U.S. magazine. Adds slain pastor and Dime's faith should inspire all Nigerians. No multi-stakeholders survey to prove president's assertion, responds can. Customs intercepts $8 million cash at Lagos airport. Wow. And no going back on a Okada ban, says Sanwo-Olu. And hate speech bill. Stakeholders sponsors clash at town hall meeting. Single buyer model of privatization behind electricity woes, TCN boss says. And will expedite action on Amotekun's legal framework, say Southwest speakers. Catholic bishops back outfit. And that's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard this morning.
We also have the Guardian newspaper here, and it says, protests as Senate ignores AGF, okays 238.15 billion naira for customs. How NCS flouted financial regulations, other laws. Lawan threatens sanctions against defaulting agencies. Story starts there and wraps up on page 6. Moving just under the masthead there, it says, I was lured into slavery in Lebanon with a promise of $2,000 monthly wage. Metro pages have more on that. Reps uncover funds unremitted 65 billion naira to Consolidated Revenue Fund. Sanwo-Olu unveils strategies to develop Lagos. Customs intercepts 2.9 billion naira cash at Lagos Airport. NLC directs state chapters to embark on strike over non-negotiation of minimum wage. And finally, why we launched new visa policy by Buhari. President, others allay fear over national security. It will aid economic integration, says LCCI. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
This case got the headline, in landmark agreement, U.S. to return $308 million Abacha assets for infrastructure. A new visa policy to create a globally competitive economy, says President. Coronavirus not yet a pandemic, says the WHO. And Buhari urges Nigerians, don't let terrorists divide us. Says there's no place for those forcing people to change religion. And IPPIS OAGF awaits ministers' approval to withhold tertiary institutions' salaries. And that's what we've got on the cover of this day.
So I have the Daily Trust here, and it has a photo story that many can never forget. And it says here, the abducted Chibok schoolgirls. So the headline is, 6 years after, Chibok girls sighted at Sambisa forest. Abductors ready for negotiation, say some sources. It also counts 2,125 days since the Chibok schoolgirls were abducted. U.S. to Nigeria, you'll repay Abacha loot if restolen. 90% of Boko Haram victims are Muslims, says Buhari there, and customs to spend 577 million naira on boreholes, 128 million on TVs. I'll move to the bottom of the page here. Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Nigeria is dead, it says. Page 8 has more on that. And Buhari's indifference worsens APC crisis in states, it says. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
We've got the Daily Sun here. Federal government raises flooding alarm. Urges Nigerians to prepare for greater incidences this year. And NIMET predicts flight delays and cancellations. Anxiety as oil pipeline explodes in Imo. And federal government gives hope for lifting of U.S. immigration ban. That's good news there. And finally, Nigeria, U.S. island of Jersey, sign deal for repatriation of $318 million Abacha loot. That's what we've got on the cover of the Daily Sun. I think we have time for the Nigerian Tribune.
One more, yeah? One more. It says here, Buhari writes for Christianity Today, says, religion can't divide Nigerians. 90% Boko Haram victims are Muslims. Praises Andimi, his church, for their words in northeastern region. Buhari launches new visa policy to boost economy. And the Oyo Assembly uncovers duplication, inflation, illegal withdrawal by sacked chairman. And allegations unfounded, it says, according to the sacked chairman. I'll wrap it with this one. Federal government to spend $318 million Abacha loot on Lagos-Ibadan, Abuja-Kano expressways. That's what we have on the cover of the Nigerian Tribune.
You know, we hardly take Daily Times, so maybe we'll just take the headline and a few stories on the cover of Daily Times this morning. Daily Times has been around since 1926. Wow. Federal government is seeking $17 billion loan from China, minister said, and says Nigeria has no issue with current debt profile, but with dwindling revenue. And customs intercepts 2.9 billion naira cash at Lagos Airport. And finally, on the cover of the Daily Times, Senate approves 238 billion naira customs budget without audited accounts. Wow. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Times.
And with that, we wrap up our newspaper headlines. We need to take the traffic report after these messages. All right, then, it's about time for us to give you that update we promised just before those messages you just saw. Now it's all about giving you the best trip route in Lagos to your destination. A lot of complaints over the past few weeks about traffic, past few years, honestly, but some places it's getting better, some places it's not. I'm starting on the route from Ojodu Bega and heading towards Marina. All in all, it'll take you about 1 hour, 18 minutes if you're heading to Marina from Bega bus stop. But I can tell you that it is a shorter journey if you decide to take Ikorodu Road. So for some reason, it's a shorter journey, but only if you take the main carriageway. I think some of the service lanes are blocked off as at right now, according to what I can see here. But if, for instance, you do decide to take Third Mainland Bridge, the expressway is free all the way. I'm talking about the Lagos-Ibadan expressway is free all the way down to the Gbagada turnoff just before going on to Third Mainland Bridge. And it takes you all the way through Ojota. And Ojota turnoff is actually blocked right now. But if you take the main carriageway, there's a way you can do a U-turn there. If you use your map, you'll be able to figure that route out. But if you decide to stay on the expressway and head towards Third Mainland Bridge, expect a 35-minute delay right there on the bridge. The traffic itself begins right after the Ebute Meta turn, and it goes all the way down to Marina. I'm not sure what could be going on right now, but it does seem to be on lockdown. All in all, as I said before, an hour, 21 minutes to your destination. Bega bus stop has been a source for complaints for the past few days. For some reason, it is very, very free right now. Someone is doing something to make that happen, and I know a lot of people will be grateful for that. I'm going to be checking out some other routes in Lagos right now, and Tokwe and Yomi are in the kitchen with updates from social media, hopefully.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you updates from Traffic Chief NG. I don't know which one you have, but Traffic Chief NG, about 20 minutes ago, it says that a trailer is about to fall off at the Ikponri section of a co-bridge, and that's causing a lot of traffic. So it's just hanging in the balance right now. And so that's it's on the bridge right now, and it's tilted in a precarious way. So please be careful along that axis. That was at 6:18 this morning. And also at 6:23, alert, please avoid Ojota traffic, or avoid Ojota this morning. Traffic already at Tipa garage. That was at 6:20. Ikorodu Road and environs. Please use mile 12 and other inner roads to get around. Yeah, so that there's a lot of traffic in that area, basically because of the construction. So there's construction going on both sides of the road. The entire Bagada Expressway on one side.
Oh yeah,
so that's really also diverting traffic towards the Ojota axis as well. And there's construction going on at Ojota as well. That's causing a lot of traffic. So quite a number of roads being rehabilitated at the same time.
It's good, but then again, I don't know how they can do it to make it, maybe do it at night so people can use the road during the day. I don't know. But I have one update here. It says there's another trailer falling off Falomo Bridge on your way to VI just before the checkpoint.
Wow.
So if you're headed towards Falomo, or if you're around that axis, that might just be the cause of traffic there, and you might want to exercise a little patience for obvious reasons. But I have pretty much the updates that you have. The trailer following.
So yeah, I've got one here, just one more before we head back to TT.
Okay.
For commuters planning, so this was 19 minutes ago, about 6:13.
Okay.
For commuters planning to exit Lagos using Berger, traffic is on standstill and has extended beyond Capital Oil and Otedola Bridge. Wow. So there must be some kind of breakdown or something going on in that area. But it looks like if you're also exiting Lagos this morning, there's a lot of traffic. Just be patient, be careful while you're at it.
Yeah, you might want to
So
share.
as at around 9:30 p.m. yesterday night, there was still traffic along that Otedola Bridge heading out of Lagos as well. And it does seem like that traffic has not let up till now. But I'm heading all the way to the Iba area of Lagos, starting from LASU, that's Lagos State University. And instead of taking the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, most people seem to be taking Iyanoba to take an alternative route because the traffic on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway seems to be on standstill. Heading towards Igomu, you have a 1 hour, 5-minute journey, and the only main pressure points are at mile 2. That's what we have time for on the traffic updates at this point. But I'm heading into the kitchen to meet the team in just a bit.
So what's up, Tokwe? What's happening? It looks like people are beginning to slightly adjust to this new...
No kind of thing, yeah?
Yeah, and also a number of people were talking about how they were able to, at least because of the new buses that also came in, get to the various destinations quicker than it was on Monday.
On Monday.
So Monday was quite difficult. Yesterday was slightly better.
Yeah.
So Monday was difficult. Yesterday was slightly better.
Today
so
people
hopefully,
might just-
you understand. So hopefully things will get better and better.
I
as-
think I
as
felt
people
it
know how to
yesterday
navigate.
because I stay at my friend's place during the week.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get something down the road, and usually I just take a keke.
Yeah.
And then I got out of the house, and I'm just like, oh no. Like
Exercise, you know?
I'm going to have to walk. Like it was a compulsory walk.
Yeah.
Because usually a keke just takes me and brings me back, and I now see. So when I was coming back from work, I saw a lot of people on the road. I didn't understand why. So when I was walking to the store, I'm just like, oh, this is why there's so many people on the road.
Walking, yeah. A lot of people walking.
I mean,
Well, actually,
exercise.
the truth is, in a lot of cities, even in Africa, like African cities, people walk. You know, people walk a lot. I mean, some of the cities are agreed cooler
yes.
than
Lagos.
Lagos.
You get, so it's easier for you to walk longer distances
Yeah.
when the weather is cool. So you can do a 20-minute brisk walk to the bus stop.
Yes.
But if the weather is really hot,
Like it is
and
here.
you are going to a restaurant or something, by the time you get to the restaurant, you're just exhausted.
Really
So
exhausted.
I think the weather also affects how long you can walk.
Yeah.
So if you're in New York or something, I mean,
You're
people
good
do
to
30
walk
minutes.
now.
You will
People
walk.
do 30 minutes, 40 minutes just walking.
But the weather
or
is
in
not
London.
bad. Do you get? The weather is quite favorable.
There's sometimes they have heat waves in the US and
But
all
it's
that.
not
So
like what you experience.
I feel you on that. But the truth is, the culture of walking has been lost a long time ago in Lagos.
Lagos, yeah.
That culture to actually walk from here to here, even from here to the closest bus stop, just feels like a journey.
Yeah.
But when you travel, when you're outside the country, you will do it.
Yeah.
They will tell you, they'll even point to you, even on the map, they will tell you it's a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
So once you start now, you'll get there so time. There's a reason for that.
I really think the weather is the main thing.
Yes.
I think the weather is the main
I
because I
think
remember also, I mean, growing up in Kaduna, I mean,
We walk a lot.
we used to walk a lot,
I
especially
walked to school.
during the Harmattan. You just
wear your
put on your backpack,
and
put on your
walk.
sweater, and walk. By the time you
Yeah.
get to school, you're a bit warm and all
Yeah.
of that. But when the weather is hot. Forget it.
Oh, no,
even
you
if
don't want to walk.
even when it's still like in the morning,
Yeah.
there's no sun, but the weather is really still and
Yeah.
heavy with humidity. You just don't feel like doing any
extra.
extra work
Yeah.
because you will be tired. That's
Yes.
the truth.
So-
Once your body overheats, you get tired.
So one thing I will advise is for everyone who's starting this futwajin movement,
Footwork.
start hydrating. So a lot
Yeah.
of people need to start drinking a lot more water.
True.
Keep your muscles, nicely hydrated because
Yeah.
that walking isn't
gonna be a
ending
walk.
tomorrow. It's not ending next week. Well, according to what we
Yeah.
read in the papers today.
Yeah.
It will get better.
It'll
will
get better.
yeah.
We will get used to it.
So in Lekki phase 1, even though Okadas can no longer go in and Maras can no longer go in, there are these small buses,
Yes,
the
the
small white
shuttle.
buses, the shuttles that take, I think, 6 people or so, 6 to 8
It's eight,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, so, and they go to all the streets, depending on what buses. And I think there are quite a number of them, probably about 50 or 70 of them.
Yeah.
So I think it's also something that people can introduce, even private businesses. It's an
Yes.
opportunity as well
Yeah.
for many private businesses. So if you're an investor, or even the guys that invested in the bikes,
Yeah,
the
they
OPs
could
and the
just
rest of
decide
them,
to invest
you
in
can
that.
divest some of those
It's
funds.
not that easy though, but
Yeah, no, I mean it's called a divestment. So once you move your funds from one location to the other, you can then invest it in another kind of transportation business.
yeah, but I mean,
And
think
then
about the
push.
bikes now. But
Yeah.
it's just more like what are they going to do with it?
So they can always be sold for parts
Yeah.
and sent to other countries. They can always,
You
all
just
those
sell-
things
you
can
can-
happen.
I
Even
mean,
other states are
depends,
still
yeah.
using bikes.
You get so it depends on how many bikes there are. So, for instance, if they're up to 1,000 bikes or 2,000 bikes, you can just convert it to another kind of business.
Dispatch.
Delivery or delivery services,
Yeah.
dispatch services,
Yeah.
out of state. So you
Yeah.
just say, okay, you know what? Let's move 200 to Port Harcourt for a special service. Move another 200 to
Yeah.
Abuja, like that.
Yeah.
It
There's
can
always
be
a
done.
way.
And then divest that money into the bus shuttles, maybe in an estate in Bagada, something like that.
Yeah, like
So different
Yeah,
estates
estates,
will
yeah.
just have their own color of shuttle.
or you
and-
just
So-
exercise.
Invest, for the people on foot, invest in a nice backpack and put both straps on,
Bottle of
comfortable shoes, a bottle of water.
Your water
Very
bottle.
important.
And let's get
One other thing I heard, so people are now doing ride sharing as well
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
with people that you know.
of course.
Yes.
So
that
ride
you know
sharing.
is
So,
very important.
so I have a car.
Yeah.
It costs me 7,000 or 8,000 a week to buy petrol.
I give you 2.5.
Exactly. You give me 2,500 out of that. You
2,500.
give
And
me
we do it together.
or 2,000 and I pay
You
the
consider
rest.
that? Not
We'll
bad.
make it work somehow, people. We'll make it work somehow. We have to take a quick break, but we will be back. Wake Up Nigeria. Continue.
Yes, I am with our very first performer for this morning. Now, Lexi is an Afro-pop artist who is very, very passionate about music and his sound. He is here to perform something special for us this morning. So tell us, what are you performing for us this morning?
Yeah, actually, I'm performing Keke, as you already
Keke?
know.
Is
Yeah.
it because we don't have keke?
Like that, you know. Keke is actually an hit song right now, and it's actually trending. So,
Oh,
you
really?
know.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, Keke has been trending right now for 2 good years and still
Okay.
trending. Dropped 2018, and the visuals have been going on since early 2019 till now, still trending actually.
Oh,
with thousands of streams online already, up to 1 million, you know.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
sure.
That's great. So for how long have you been doing music?
Yeah, I've been doing it professionally for 4 good years right now.
Okay.
Yeah, for going still counting.
And have you dropped an album or just singles and EP?
Yeah, I've dropped a lot of albums actually. But I'm working on my EP this year. Yeah,
Oh,
by God's
great.
grace,
So tell
yeah.
me, which artist are you looking forward to collaborating with this year?
Actually, this year it's gonna be Mayor Kun.
Ooh.
If I can see that, also do.
Okay.
You know, Whiskey Star Boy.
Oh, it's going to be a big year for you then.
By God's grace.
Okay, so
I'm
now
ready.
let's have you blow us away with Keke, and it's not about the Keke that we're driving.
Sure, no problem.
Do me dang dang, diggy ding diggy diggy dang dang, dang dang, baby do diggy diggy dang dang, baby do me dang dang, baby girl see me never know, see me never know, see me never know.
I said by me we, yeah, what be my.
Hello and good morning. Welcome. It's the second hour of the show. And if you're just joining us, there's still so much more coming to you right now.
Yeah, now this is definitely one show worth jumping out of bed for every single day. It's Wednesday. And if you like a hearty breakfast, Wake Up Nigeria gives you that boost that you need to start your morning.
Speaking of boosts, we have a chef in the kitchen and she's getting set. Chef Juliet is getting set to blow our minds. And Tokwe is standing with her.
Yes, Chef Juliet, how are you feeling this morning? What are we making? I think something is interesting because we're already trying to walk around the oven. I'm excited about this. What are we making?
Yeah.
Well, I'm making fish burger.
Fish burger.
Okay.
Something fishy. Looking forward to it. Stay bright with us every single day till the end of the show because something special is going to be happening for you. My name is Yomi.
And I'm Titilayo Oyison. 1 hour, 45 minutes to go. Remember to stream with us along the way, tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, you can send in your comments across the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook on TVC. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Yeah.
So that app that we've been talking about, hopefully you have it already. If you don't, just visit the Android or iOS store right now and have that app with you wherever you need to be. You can watch us for free.
Yeah, so diving into the rest of the show, what we have for you today, we've got performances, we've got breakfast, and something also really, really good. On health, Dr. Lawson will be joining us to talk to us about, with a focus on legs, looking at various issues that may come up with people's legs, especially as children.
After that, we have more music coming from Timmy Lambo.
Don't stop shaking that. The way you rolling, I really know that you want to kill me now, baby sister.
On relationship, we're going to be talking about the little things that matter in relationships with Aremo Olalekan Oluwatobi.
Then we have home makeover. We have a female furniture maker, Miss Tura from Tura Freak. Now she is into wood furnishings, and when it comes to wood furnishings for your home, you do not want to miss that one.
Right after that, we're going to beam the spotlight on Tawa Onosonya, the brain behind Exquisite Magazine.
And then we'll be joined by an award-winning filmmaker. Ekene will be in the building right here for a chat.
I'll protect you. Let's celebrate East meeting West.
What are you doing? You can't be serious, Emeka. Your mom...
Still the season of love.
I'm probably going to be talking about love for the whole of February.
Yeah.
So a quick one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yesterday I was chatting with my friend, family, cousin, distant relative in the UK. And they were talking about relationships. And I remember it was very difficult for him to get into a relationship because he just didn't believe in it. And the next thing he's telling me, oh, he and his girlfriend are planning to buy a house. And then they're traveling the world. And I'm just like, as a Nigerian now, first I'm like, who is Spain? And then I'm just like, God, talk about this is our mentality here. Yeah. And then I'm like, so you're going to celebrate Valentine? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you celebrate as in a guy. And then he said something that really struck me, and I said I was going to share it. He said that he thinks if you really love someone, every day that they say, this day is a day to celebrate love, you shouldn't say, oh, I show you love every day, so I'm not showing you love today. If they say this day is for celebrating love, then we should make it extra. Doesn't mean we're not showing love tomorrow or the day before. So guys and girls out there doing, I don't celebrate Valentine. If you don't have anyone to celebrate with, wake up Nigeria. Yes. We will give you boyfriend.
Show us love first. Because 2 Valentines ago, right here at the studio, I had delivery of a nice bouquet of fruits. Just people showing love because. Last year we were waiting, we did not say anything. I'm just saying, just putting it out there.
Let me put one out there. Titi and Yomi are married. Don't send them anything. Send to me. Me. Show me love. Nobody will ask you any question. They have husband and wife. They'll ask me. Nobody will ask.
So
show me love. Don't show them.
So you guys have this blind date thing that you're setting up, right?
Yes, we are.
So that's coming up
it's
probably next week.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I would really see people I would really love to see people who are interested in that. Yeah.
Very interesting.
We have you covered, and something else we have covered is the news, and Yomi's taking that right now.
Yeah, we'll begin with the pledge by the United States to support efforts by Nigeria to combat corruption at all levels. Washington also commends President Muhammadu Buhari's personal commitment to fighting corruption. This was revealed in the statement after the signing of a deal between the state of Jersey and Nigeria. President Buhari also got the thumbs up for the return of more than $308 million looted by General Sani Abacha. In the 1990s, assets were stolen by the former military ruler and stashed abroad. More than 20 years later, they are now being returned to Nigeria. The federal government says the recovered funds will be used for infrastructure projects in strategic economic zones across the country. And the House of Representatives is seeking a diplomatic resolution of the travel ban imposed on Nigeria by the United States. Lawmakers plan to interface with relevant government agencies and diplomatic missions to unravel circumstances that led to the restriction and prevent a recurrence. They also urge President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet to expedite necessary actions that may lead to the review or cancellation of the ban. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by Yusuf Tajuddin. And to our coverage of the coronavirus, the outbreak has killed 492 people worldwide, the majority of which are in China, and infected more than 24,500 people across 25 countries. Close to 60 million people remain under lockdown in China, with 3 cities reporting over 1,000 confirmed cases. Around 3,700 people are being held on a ship in Japan after a passenger who had departed the vessel tested positive for the virus. There are 3 cities with more than 1,000 cases of coronavirus. Authorities in the city are only allowing 1 representative for each household to leave their home every other day to go outside and buy groceries. Lawmakers have rejected a motion to evacuate Nigerians in China following the outbreak of coronavirus. They voted massively against the move raised by Benjamin Okezie, who says China has better facilities to handle the situation than Nigeria does. Despite efforts by Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila to calm the lawmakers and allow Mr. Okezie move his motion, they denied him the opportunity. And the Lagos State government has inaugurated a resilience strategy document with the objective of identifying challenges and opportunities to develop individuals in the state. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, explained that this move attests to the readiness of his administration to provide a legacy of good governance to residents of the state. He added that the document will also provide an empirical background for all government policies, aid plans to speedily transform the state into a more resilient city. Kenya's former and longest-serving president, Daniel Arap Moi, died on Tuesday at the age of 95. The current president, Uhuru Kenyatta, has ordered a period of national mourning and all flags to fly at half-mast until a state funeral is held later. Mr. Moi ruled the East African nation for 24 years, longer than any other leader since independence. But his legacy of corruption continues to haunt the country. The vice president, then a vice president, he came into power in 1978 when President Jomo Kenyatta died. Diplomats say an attempted coup transformed him from a cautious, insecure leader into a tough autocrat. There was no immediate explanation for Moi's death, but he had been in and out of hospital with breathing problems in recent months. He's credited for keeping Kenya relatively stable compared with his troubled neighbors, and he worked for peace in the region. Well, that's it for the news update for this hour. Top Boy is ready. Well, like I said, before we went on the break, we're going to be doing something to do with our health today. And this morning we have Dr. Lawson Babajide in the building. He's a consultant orthopedic and trauma surgeon. And today he's going to be shedding some light on a curious area regarding to health, especially with children, bone health, with focus on legs and popular things that we see all around us sometimes during our day-to-day activities and even maybe within our families as well. So let me tell you a quick story. So I had this niece who, while she was growing up, when she was about maybe 18 months or so, her legs just went bow. And the parents were, it was like the first child, the parents were scared, they were afraid. They were like, this is how she's going to be, because she was really walking like, so the legs were bow. But after a while, by the time she was 3, the legs had straightened down, which was a pleasant surprise for everybody. So maybe we should start from there. What was the cause of the bow leg, and how did it eventually straighten out, and what are the things people should pay attention to when it comes to leg health, as it were?
Good morning. Nice story.
Thank you for joining us.
And I'm sure the issue is, being a girl, everybody's very concerned about the legs coming out right.
Yes, exactly.
Heels and all the things later on. Okay, so first thing is to think of normal, and which is usually a range, and then a variation. So when kids are born, they usually are not able to see what position the legs are because they're not yet walking. So it becomes clearer once the kid starts to walk that, okay, these legs are not straight. So maybe bow. Now, so there's what we call physiological, that's the normal. So kids, when they're less than 2 to 3 years, tend to be bow. So
in general?
In general. Now, of course, being that the case in this, your anecdote, being their first kid is not something they are used to. Now, of course, I've had parents come in and talk that, but her brother was not like that, or her elder sister was not like that. So we all can't be the same. We're not all the same complexion, same height, but the general tendency is that in kids, when they are born, the tendency is up to 2 to 3 years, they are bow.
Their legs are bow.
They're bow. Then something now happens at about 3.5, they start to have knock knees. They tend to become K.
And this is normal as well?
That is normal.
Okay.
So there's a joke I usually crack with most of my patients where they come in, and I go like, if I had 1 kobo for every kid I saw, I probably would be richer than Dangote by now.
Yeah, because people are just concerned. They will just come, I don't understand why my
yes.
child has a bow leg, or I don't understand how my child's leg is suddenly
Suddenly from bow, then all of a sudden it's K.
The knees are knocking together,
Yeah,
and they're wondering how you
So that happens at about 3. And then it starts to straighten out thereafter. And between the ages of 7 to 10, it tends to straighten out and become straight.
Right.
So that is. Now, having said that, by the time you now see a child at 3, 4 years with bow, then you should worry. Because, like I said, the normal or the expected from 3 years is K or straight. So once it's bow after 3 years, then
it starts to work. Now,
so
at that point, though, would it already have been? Is it already late to have done something about it? Because I mean, if you were thinking when the child was 2 years old, okay, it's normal. The doctor said it's normal, and then by the time it's 3, 4, it's still bow. Is it still at the early stage, whatever is wrong with the child, or what would you say is you would then suspect that is wrong?
Okay, so let me give you a bit of a background.
Yeah.
Now, so the way to think about it is like this. So you have bone made up of protein, and then now has calcium deposited in it. That calcium helps to make the bone more rigid. Now, as a child, you get nutrition from breast milk and what you take in. Now, imagine that there's not enough calcium in the bone, so it's not rigid enough. So as the child starts to walk, the limbs may now start to give way and may either bow or K, which is why some parents come in. And then from the outlook of the child, you can almost tell, okay, this child is unhealthy, or, you know, there are telltale signs you look out for. Prominent forehead, the wrist tends to be swollen, and then they have what we call like a rickety rosary. So, and that would suggest that there's not enough calcium in the system, so that can lead to rickets, what we call rickets. And that's because there's not enough mineralization, so the bone is not rigid enough. So when the child comes in and you see, and it's on both sides, then it's likely to be normal, but then you can still run some blood tests just to ascertain that, okay, this child has enough calcium. Now, if by 3, it's bow, and of course you would have seen, so usually what we advise is come for follow-up. Let us monitor the child's progress. So by the time the child is at 3 and is bow, then that suggests that it may be rickets, because it's not a deviation from normal with all certainty. And or it may be there's a bony problem that is common in blacks, which we call Blount's disease.
Blount's disease.
So for some reason, the inner parts of the knees are not growing as quickly as the outer parts. So this is growing, and it tends to kind of like bow.
So this is for the Blount's disease itself.
For the Blount's disease itself.
A lot of these conditions, are they treatable? Are they curable? Does the child then have a normal life after this?
Okay. So for the rickets, since we all agree it's a deficiency in calcium. So once you can detect that, okay, this child has an issue with calcium. And so another part, some background, calcium is important from dietary sources. So playing in sunlight, exercise as kids is very important. So it helps to build bone strength. So at the end of the day, more often than not, for those kids with rickets, you just need to supplement with vitamin D, calcium. So dietary sources, cod liver oil supplements, or vitamin D supplements will also help. For the children with Blount's disease, you need to monitor, and they may need some form of possibly surgical intervention. Just to help to get things
straighten things out.
Yeah.
Okay, so but for any condition that has to do with rickets or calcium deficiency, the diets are the main thing.
Diet is the mainstay.
Drugs are not necessary.
No.
Okay.
No.
So excellent. So I've seen cases where I've seen older children that still display, and when I say older, I mean like 8 or 9, still display K legs and also bow legs as well. So at that point, is it late?
Okay.
So for instance, maybe the parents weren't really paying attention, or they didn't have that information that you're giving us now?
Okay, so you need, again, context matters.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on for? So the length of time tends to give you an idea of what the problem is and how extensive your intervention has to be. So rickets can come up at any point in time, meaning that if the diet for any reason is not sufficient or adequate, the child can have a nutritional deficiency along the line. So 8, 9 is not too late. And even, let me shock you a bit, even adults, there's an adult component that similarity to rickets, which we call osteomalacia. So even as you are, if you're not taking enough vitamin D, you can have issues with your bones.
Wow, okay.
So it can happen at any age.
Yeah, so it can happen at any age, and at that point, you can then begin to do whatever interventions that is required to ensure that the bones are straight.
Exactly.
So in general, what would you say, what would you advise, especially, I mean, parents of young children, what would you advise that they do? Okay, so everybody, I mean, they say, okay, we have normal children, but on a continuous basis as a lifestyle thing, what should people focus on when it comes to ensuring that there's good balance in the diets focused on bones?
3 things. 1, diet rich in calcium, vitamin D, milk, or cereals fortified with calcium, vitamin D. Vitamin D supplements will help. Sunlight. So, I mean, keeping kids cooped up doesn't help. Anything between 11 to 3 p.m., you need just 15 to 30 minutes of sunlight. And remember, as kids, we used to have break time around that time.
Yeah,
and that's when we go and play football in our shorts and stuff like that. That was very helpful. Number 3, weight-bearing exercises, running, jumping. So you find that when you go on break and it's around that time and you're running around on the football pitch, you're actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're getting sunlight, which would help to produce vitamin D in the body, and you're also exercising the bones. So it's kind of like follows that mantra. If you use it, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
So exercise, let the kids play, let them have fun.
Push them out of the house. They should go out and have fun instead of just locking them up.
Yeah.
Very important.
Thank you so much. Too much PS.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lawson, for joining us this morning. I'm sure that people are learning quite a bit. And if there was anybody harboring any worries, looking at your 2-year-old child and shaking your head, there's nothing to worry about. It'll straighten out very soon. All right, so we're heading to the kitchen now where Titi is with our chef right now.
All right. Yes, we're in the kitchen finally today. And on Wednesday, we have Chef Juliet. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. What are we making today, especially?
Fish burger.
Fish burger. So when you say fish burger, we all know what burger looks like. But when you add the fish component, it sort of has a twist. So let's talk about the ingredients we have here. We have fish, eggs, flour, onion, tomato, lettuce, cucumber, burger buns, and cocktail sauce. So those are all the things you need. I can also see cheese here. I can also see, what's this spice here?
Mixed seasoning.
Mixed seasoning. What's this?
This powdered garlic.
Powdered garlic and
hot pepper.
Hot pepper. Is that black pepper, like the black peppercorns ground, or what type of pepper is that? I can't recognize that.
Just mixture of white and black pepper.
Mixture of white and black. Beautiful. So I got into the kitchen and saw you digging into this plate. What is in this plate exactly?
Well, I have fish here.
That does not look like fish to me. How did the fish get like this? Tell me.
I have to blend it.
You blended it?
Yeah.
So was it a particular type of fish? Was it like Titus or Cote, or what was it? What type of fish?
Well, this is croaker fish. It depends your capacity, the one you can able to afford.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
So what did you? So the fish was at room temperature, or was it frozen before you blended it like this?
Yes.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen. So peeled, deboned, and frozen, and blended rather. And now you're mixing something with it. What's this?
This is a flour.
Okay. Go ahead and do what you were doing. I stopped you from doing it that time. You're adding this now. What's that?
This mixed seasoning.
Mixed seasoning is going in
a
there.
little bit mixed seasoning.
Okay.
And a little bit garlic powder.
Okay.
And a little bit white pepper.
All right.
So
then you add your
flour. Yes. Well, actually, the reason why I'm putting this flour is just because of so that the fish, when I want to grill it, so that the fish will not be scattered.
Okay.
So I will not add a little bit
oil. Okay, oil. So let me add that for you. Let me see. I want to contribute here a little. But after the oil goes in there, what happens? Tell me what happens.
After it, I'm going to rub everything together.
Okay. Once you've done that, are you going to mold it into those round shapes?
Yes.
Or do you have a special cutter for that?
No, I'm going to mold it into a round shape.
All right. Okay, so we have our oil here. This is ordinary vegetable oil, not a special oil, right?
Yes.
Will you tell me when to stop?
It's okay.
Okay, fantastic. So in that bowl, believe it or not, is fish, flour, mixed seasoning, dried garlic, white pepper, and vegetable oil. It looks like I can see onion in there. Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't tell me about the onion. You had done that before I got here. You're in a hurry, you're in a hurry. Okay, so what did you do to the onion?
I'm going to chop the onion.
Okay.
So after chopping it, I will add it to the fish. And also I have my parsley, chopped parsley.
Okay.
So after that, I'm going to add it to...
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. All right, so I would love to see what happens when the parsley goes in. Yes, it'll definitely add some more color there. And as she is molding, or should I call it massaging the fish, we are going to be taking a quick break. We have Chef Juliet doing her thing right here on Wake Up Nigeria, making fish burgers. You need to stay close to watch the end of this.
Yes, so our second performer for this morning is Timileyin Boluwatife Mebude, popularly known as Timi Lambo. Now, he is a final year student of Ekiti State University, and he started making music from secondary school, but only started professionally in 2015 with about 5 songs to his name. Now, he is here to perform one of his songs for us, or something. Is it something forthcoming or something you've already sang?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, okay, so tell us about it.
Name is Perfect.
Perfect.
Actually, it's more like a cover of Aya Nakamura's song 40%.
Oh, okay.
So basically, it's just you're saying if you're in a relationship and you're like your partner is like saying you're not enough, then you're just like, I'm too perfect for you.
Oh, so you're too perfect, so we should walk away.
You're not basically working it, but you're just making a point.
You're
too
making
perfect.
a point. Oh, okay, okay. So tell us about your other songs. Are they also covers or the originals?
No, originals. I'm even going to be dropping an EP this year.
This year? Okay, yeah. So who are you planning to work with?
Basically anybody that comes my way.
Anybody that comes your way, so no big names in your mind yet?
We can't say for now.
We can't say for now. Okay, you know what? I'm going to let you perform your cover for us then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shake it off. I worked you a song, then I had to delete all. But you said I was never enough. But you said I was never enough. But I'm too perfect for you. I'm 100, but I'm too perfect for you.
Nice one there by Timi Lambo. Very good, very good. Now we're joined by certified life coach and storyteller Aremo Olalekan Oluwatobi, who is driven by his passion for love and relationships and people. And he's here to talk about the little things that matter in modern relationships. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you join us. Relationships, it seems like they undergo greater stresses and pressure in the 21st century. I guess maybe because of all the things that are happening around us, social media, just exposure to way too much information than our parents did. But yeah, so the little things that matter, what should we be focusing on and what should we be looking at?
Okay, so I believe that relationships don't have to be stressful. Even despite the information overload and exposure to many things. But at times, because of information and because of exposure to the kind of knowledge we have, we find out that relationships can become stressful. So little things that matter, we're focusing on some little things that seemingly do not count, but in the long run have great impact on the relationship. Say, for example, now, this might sound old-fashioned, say writing of notes, okay, love notes. Okay, I know that growing up, back in the days, we used to have notes passed in class. You know, boy, by the time it's coming, a boy will pass a note.
Write a little note and pass
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And even though it was little then, it made sense to us then. So as we grow, that culture seemed to, we felt it's childish. But truth is, even with working relationships and marriage, we find out that if you can, from time to time, just write a note somewhere in your partner's purse, wallet, let them not know, let them just find it during the day. A little I love you note can work magic. Okay, it's little, but the truth is, it will put a smile on the face of that partner through the day. And like you mentioned, you know, there's a lot of social media exposure these days. Now, another thing that I believe that works, that is little, but you can walk into your day, is if you find posts that you find funny or that you think that your partner will like, tag the partner. Or, you know, there's some posts that there's a question they're asking, tag somebody you love, and sometimes tag your partner and say something online. It may look little too, but the truth is, if the partner gets the notification, it shows that you have them in mind through the day, despite a busy day and all that.
So the purpose essentially is showing people that you have them in mind.
Yes,
throughout the day.
Yes, yes, and because that is key. One of the critical points of relationship is communication, most times. And when you break down issues and stress that relationships have, it always usually boils down to not being able to communicate to ourselves properly. So if you can create a system that is not too large, too big a deal, in the small things, it will go a long way.
You know, I mean, it's been said before that little foxes spoil the vine. And I know that in relationships, a lot of times it's not even the big things that cause stress. Sometimes it can be little things, something somebody said, something somebody did or didn't do that causes some stress and even irritation within relationships. How do you ensure, for instance, that when you see these little things that are going the wrong way, how do you deal with them again in a relationship to ensure that it's strengthened?
All right, so like I mentioned, they are little, so most times they can be missed because they are little. Say, for example, a lady walks in and says she's upset with you. What did I do? Why are you upset? I'm upset. Now, she's not saying why she's upset, and she's saying you're upset. Now, the guy can be like, you're not telling me anything, beg, find your way. Or he can see it as, if she's telling me she's upset, it means that she wants me to hear her. So, as much as she's upset, she still needs me to listen to her. So when he sees from that angle, he's able to make a joke out of it, not laugh at her, make the environment light, and they can go from there because eventually you need to know what has gone wrong. Okay, so when you notice, so little things they are easily missed. They can be missed here and there. So when you notice, the first key is identifying it. When it can be identified, now the question is, what exactly does my partner want to do? Because relationships really is about sacrifices in the long run. Okay, so I've noticed that every time I don't tell you I love you in the morning, every time I notice that you don't wake up to my text message, it upsets you. So what do? If I have to set an alarm, I set an alarm to ensure that every morning when I wake up, I send you a love text message.
So at the end of the day, it sort of comes down to communication, ensuring that each person within that relationship understand what the other person wants.
Yes,
right?
It's key. Knowing, because what I want personally may be different from what she wants. So knowing what she wants and how she wants it. Okay, so somebody might like you to sing for them, maybe on their birthdays. Somebody else might like you to send them gifts. Now, if you are giving the person that like you singing to them gifts, they may appreciate it, but it doesn't eat them as much as if you come with a guitar and you sing to them. So knowing what this person wants and knowing how they want it is also key. And thanks to Gary Chapman, the author of love language, the love language book. It talks about 5 love languages that generally people, have. So when you can know, okay, my partner is the quality time person, so she's not so much about gifts, but if you are giving the person gifts, you're wondering, I'm doing so much, but I'm not reciprocating because you are communicating wrongly.
Thank you so much for joining us and for talking about some of these issues. Little things that matter in relationships. What little things are you going to be focusing on for this month of love, the month of February? Let us know. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria. We'll be right back after this. Welcome to the third hour of the show. Things are moving pretty fast today.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, you probably caught the love bug by now.
Yeah.
Cupid is still on the prowl. We're doing something very special this year, having to do with blind dates.
Yeah, Valentine's is around the corner, believe it or not. We're going to start wearing a lot more red in the studio. You're going to be seeing a lot more red around here soon enough.
You guys, I'm not sure about that red thing.
You're just going to come around with a red tie or something, I can bet.
Well, that's a red tie.
Yeah,
that's
touch
a
of
red
red
tie
there.
is for any day.
Yeah, well. If
Something to do with red, like so you'll probably show up in a red dress or something.
Don't worry, I'm prepping. You know how I do my outfits. But if you haven't heard, we are offering the chance for you to meet someone special through a blind date, and that could just be you. You might meet your soulmate right here on the show. All you need to do is send in your name, location, age, and picture, and you will need to mention 3 love totems that have been mentioned on the show. We mentioned quite a few.
Yeah.
And you need to just take note of maybe just 3 of them and send them in with the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah, be careful though. Don't start picking out baby names and.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not
Looking
yet.
for a house in Antony. Something like that. Just be careful.
Nice one.
But yeah, it's something different, something special, and it's also keeping in touch with the realities of the 21st century.
Yeah.
And you can meet people anywhere. You can meet people online. You can meet people on a TV show. And so if you're looking for love in 2020, you might just find love on Wake Up Nigeria. I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
We should
We'll
use
tweet that. Hopefully the team
Looking
caught
for
all
love
of
in
it.
2020. Just might find that love on the show. And so whether you're male or female, all the instructions are going to be online.
Yes,
and then
indeed.
just follow those instructions and we can hook you up.
My name is Titilayo Oyinso.
And I'm Yomi Ope. Get online right now. We are streaming on tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Those comments, updates, comments, contributions, we love them. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC as soon as you want to send them. And of course, you can download our app for both Android and iOS. It allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, we have a female furniture maker in the building.
Yes,
and she's going to be talking about wood furnishings for your home.
Miss Tura is here. Right after that, we'll beam the spotlight on Tewa Onosonya, the brain behind the exquisite magazine and so much more, I might add. We'll be finding out a lot more about her in a bit. Wow. That is a deep movie right there.
That's still the dream.
So, Cupid, what they call it, blind date, is going to be happening pretty soon. And I hope our viewers are getting those instructions very clearly so that they can follow this. So male or female, if you're trying to meet someone and start something new in this year, 2020.
We are, of course, screening these people, and we're screening them, so you don't have anything to worry about. And of course, your information is safe. It's not going to be broadcasted out there or anything like that. But it's your name, age, location, and of course, your picture that you need to send in. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah. So are they sending it by DM?
DMs, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're sending your name, photograph, and of course all your other details. by DM. So you're not posting it on your page or
no.
and tagging us, no. So it's private, but eventually, obviously, I mean, you're going to show on TV.
Because
So
a
just
lot
to
of
let you
people-
know, yeah.
You know, a lot of people say, oh, post on your page and then use the hashtag, post and tag us. But I think it's really cool that we're being very discreet. So
Yeah.
send the DMs quickly.
Send the DMs.
Get
And
you
if
a
you'd rather do it
boyfriend.
by email, I'm sure there's also an email that you can use as well.
And this date is actually very juicy. There's a whole package behind it.
Yeah, very
we
special,
know the
very, very
details, and
special.
we wish we were the ones going. Trust us. And if you guys don't send in those messages, we're going to go.
By ourselves.
We'll just blind date
Eat the
ourselves.
food and have fun.
Yeah.
Yummy is about to take the news update.
But what's a blind date with someone you know, but both of you are wearing blindfolds?
A date where you can't see.
We'll begin the news for this hour with the pledge by the United States to support efforts by Nigeria to combat corruption at all levels. So Washington also commends President Muhammadu Buhari's personal commitment to fighting corruption. This was revealed in a statement after the signing of the deal between the government of Jersey and Nigeria. President Buhari also got the thumbs up for the return of more than $308 million looted by General Sani Abacha. In the 1990s, assets were stolen by the former military ruler and stashed abroad. More than 20 years later, they are now being returned to Nigeria. The federal government says the recovered funds will be used for infrastructure projects in strategic economic zones across the country. And the House of Representatives is seeking a diplomatic resolution of the travel ban imposed on Nigeria by the United States. Lawmakers plan to interface with relevant government agencies and diplomatic missions to unravel circumstances that led to the restriction and prevent a recurrence. They also urged President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet to expedite necessary actions that may lead to the review or cancellation of the ban. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by Yusuf Tajuddin. And to our coverage of the coronavirus, the outbreak has killed 492 people worldwide, the majority of which are in China, and infected more than 24,000 people across 25 countries. Close to 60 million people remain under lockdown in China, with 3 cities reporting over 1,000 confirmed cases. Around 3,700 people are being held on a ship in Japan after a passenger who had departed the vessel tested positive for the virus. There are 3 Chinese cities with more than 1,000 cases of coronavirus each. Authorities are only allowing 1 representative from each household to leave their home every day to buy groceries. And lawmakers have rejected a motion to evacuate Nigerians in China following the outbreak of coronavirus. They voted massively against the move raised by Benjamin Okezie, who says China has better facilities to handle the situation than Nigeria, despite efforts by Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila to calm the lawmakers and allow Mr. Okezie move his motion. They denied him the opportunity. Over in Kenya, the longest-serving president of Kenya, Daniel Arap Moi, died yesterday, Tuesday, at the age of 95. The current president, Uhuru Kenyatta, has ordered a period of national mourning and all flags to fly at half-mast until a state funeral is held later. Mr. Moi ruled the East African nation for 24 years, longer than any other leader since independence. But his legacy of corruption continues to haunt the country. Then vice president, he came to power in 1978 when President Jomo Kenyatta died. Diplomats say an attempted coup transformed him from a cautious, insecure leader into a tough autocrat. There was no immediate explanation for Moi's death, but he had been in and out of hospital with breathing problems in recent months. He's credited for keeping Kenya relatively stable compared with his troubled neighbors, and he worked for peace in the region. Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. We'll bring you the weather update and sports right after.
And we're back in the kitchen on Wake Up Nigeria. We have Chef Juliet here making some already delicious looking fish burgers. She somehow molded fish into this. Now, it looks like miracle, Abby. Miracle. There's chopped parsley in there. There's onion in there. You also said you put mixed seasoning,
garlic powder,
and
white
powder, white pepper. Okay. So now, what are we doing with this fish?
I'm going to grill it.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Show us how you do this. There was this very interesting little plastic container you used to mold this fish. Now, this is what she used. I saw her add some vegetable oil in there, and she put the fish in, patted it out, got all the air out, and somehow pulled it out. You missed that part, but it was very tricky, but she made it look so easy. And I know she's gonna make this look easy as well. Go ahead. Okay, so I'm looking at this like film trick. How long is this going to stay in the pan?
Let me say 35.
35 minutes?
Yes.
35 minutes. Okay, well, this is fish. So keeping fish on the fire for a long time is very, very important to make sure it cooks very, very well. Sure. But is it 35 minutes in total on the fire here or in the oven as well?
On the fire here. So after that, I'm going to use the oven to support it also.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to go to the oven now myself because while you were away, she did some toasting of these bread buns. She sliced them open and put them in the oven. So she put them in the pan for a bit, and if you can see them, I need oven gloves actually. I need the oven gloves. Thank you. All right, that's okay. That's okay. I can use that one. All right, let me do this so that everyone can see what the bread buns look like. And yes, hopefully you can see that now. Can you see it now? Woo! And they look nice and toasty. Did you add butter to this?
Yes.
You did? Okay, fantastic. So our fish burgers are getting set, everyone. And I can see she has some French fries ready to fry as well. So this is going to take quite a bit of time. And while we do that, let's take the weather update.
Welcome back. We have Ms. Tura Chitu, a female furniture maker, and people also call her Lady Carpenter. And her hands look very nice. So I don't know why they call her Lady Carpenter. She'll tell us more about it today. But she's going to be talking to us about wood furnishing for your home. And going into this, it's not something that you would normally see when you talk about wood furnishings.
Yeah.
Especially because in Nigeria, we like things to be opulent. So when it's leather, you want everywhere to be full of leather. When it's fabric, you want everything to be heavy with fabric. But you're pushing wood furniture. But tell us first about your business and how you came into this wood furnishing and to focus on that part of the business.
Okay, good morning and thank you for having me. Well, my name is Ms. Tura and I'm the Managing Director of Tura Africa Interiors and Spaces and Wood Designs located in Oregon. Well, I came into the business not because I really wanted to start out as a carpenter, but I saw an opportunity. An uncle of mine gave me the opportunity to supply furniture, and I did the furniture. I saw the happiness and the joy in him. Then I was in the University of Lagos, and I felt, okay, I can do more of this. And that was where I started. But there was a time I supplied the furniture from China to a client, and the furniture got bad and injured the client. And the client was like, but you could do this instead of importing them. I was like, wow. So I started looking for places where I could learn how to make furniture. And I didn't really get one, but I went to Baog Furniture and told him that, sir, I want to learn how to make furniture. And I mean, he didn't take me serious. Are you for real? You, this beautiful girl. Yes, I want to learn. And I started out with him. He taught me how to make different pieces. And yeah, bought some machineries. And
here we are.
Yeah,
so
13 years going.
Wow. So that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. So, but wood furniture, it's internationally, especially when you go to places like Europe, where they have, you know, this tradition of different kinds of furniture and in different cities, you would see a lot of wood furniture there. So is this a trend that is growing in Nigeria as well?
Yes, yes. Like, well, when I saw your background now, I felt, okay, this is one of the things we use wood furniture for.
Yeah.
So it's actually the trend now. We are moving away from painting your wall alone to using wood to add accent to your spaces. And we have different type of wood we use. We have the MDF, which is the medium fiber board, and also we have the high density fiber board, which is the HDF. Those ones, like the name implies, high density. So they are very durable and they are water resistant. They could take more water. Even if you put them inside water, they don't get swollen, unlike the MDF, which is the medium fiber board.
So if you wanted to do something, let's say you had a small space, a small 2-bedroom, and somebody has a living room that is not so big and is bare, what would be the first thing you would think about doing in a small space?
Well, as an interior designer, the first thing I would ask you is to know who you are. Because it's your space, it's not my space. I design space based on my
Based on the personality.
Exactly. Then I also know what you will be doing in that space. If you have kids, I need to take in consideration your kids, what they do, what they like. So those are the things we're going to consider first before even putting any furniture. If you have a 2-bed and you have kids, I always advise my client to go away from leather, because kids could use sharp objects to, you know, break the leather and all that. But fabric can stand test of time
as opposed to
leather.
Okay, so you would then do, so if you were focusing on wood, what are the things that you would then look at doing?
Well, one of the things we'll focus is the media wall. So we use, we can use medium density fiber board to clad the wall.
The entire wall?
Yes, the entire wall.
Okay.
Or we could use part of the entire. If you look at what you've done here now, they didn't use the wood to clad the entire wall. So you have wallpaper, you have paint, you have wood.
So you can do a mixture.
Yes, you can blend all that together. Because if you use just wood, sometimes it could be boring. So you need to introduce some element that will lighten up the space.
Lighten up the space. Yeah. There are some people who say, okay, maybe they go to somebody's house and they see something they like, and instead of hiring an interior designer, they say, you know what, let me just get my local carpenter to knock it together. But if I was going to do it myself, maybe use, or if I had a creative flair, is this something that I can then bring and instruct a carpenter to help me do something with?
Yes, if you're very creative, you could save a lot for yourself. And I always tell people, you don't need to break a bank before you achieve a wow space. You could get a carpenter that is very detailed, because not all of them are that detailed. They just want to do anything for you and move on to the next project. But if you're able to get a carpenter that is detailed, or you have the time to tell the carpenter that you know what, this is what I want to achieve, I need you to get this detail for me. Then you explain what you want to do, because yes, they know the trade, but they are not creative. So you don't expect them to do the trade for you and also create for you. So you tell them what you want to achieve, then they will bring it out for you. But if you know how to handle, we have YouTube for you, so you could go to YouTube, learn how to, how to hold hammer so they don't hit your hand.
When you watch all these YouTube videos and you then try something, it doesn't always come out.
Technology has actually helped us, because now you don't need to use hammer again. So you said my hands are not looking nice because I don't use hammer again. So I have power drive that I use. It's just to hold the power drive, drill the
you actually still do
yes. I have a couple of videos that, if I have a very tight timeline, I go to my factory to help out.
Wow,
I do a lot of things.
So how can I find you on social media if I wanted to maybe learn some of the things that you do, or also get in touch?
Well, I'm more active on Instagram, theladycarpenter.ng.
The Lady Carpenter. Well, you heard it from the Lady Carpenter herself. And hopefully you're going to be doing more with wood in this year, 2020. Not always leather and fabric for everything that you have to do, but very nice. Anyway, I'm going to be introducing somebody very special. Her name is Tewa Onosoya, and she's the brain behind Exquisite Magazine. That magazine is about 15 years old, and EM. And we're going to be taking a look at this spotlight.
It has been scientifically proven that a woman can quite effortlessly multitask. Well, our Woman of the Week certainly does just that, and does it in style as well. Tewa Onosoya is a British-Nigerian publisher, mindset stylist, founder and CEO of Exquisite Magazine. The brand is also responsible for the EMAC Walk and the Eloy Awards.
Exquisite Magazine started 16 years ago when I thought there was a very, very huge gap in the market for magazines for women of color to be precise, because the magazine started in England. There were so many other mainstream magazines, but none that were really focused on black women. And because I love writing and fashion and things like that, I decided, okay, instead of complaining about something, do something about it. And that's essentially how Exquisite started.
Born and raised in London, she holds a Bachelor of Science degree in pharmacology from the University of Portsmouth. But her love for writing ultimately started her on a new path in life that will positively touch the lives of others.
I didn't get my A-level grades for medicine, so I decided to study pharmacology and then eventually become a doctor. But when I started my pharmacology degree, I quite enjoyed it, so I stayed on the course, and after graduating, I was working in pharmaceutical industries. So I worked in quite a number of pharmaceutical industries before I now thought, okay, follow your dream and your passion of the magazine. It's been a great journey of discovering myself. It's been a great journey of, also growing the business as well. Like I said, it's 16 years old. I started from basically no knowledge of media, publishing, or anything like that. So basically learned on the job and learned, through my experience.
The Eloy Awards is a project that she started to celebrate remarkable women in the society and shine the spotlight on their efforts.
I sat with the team one day and I'm like, there's so many women doing exceptionally well in different fields. Why aren't we being celebrated? Why aren't these women being celebrated? And we thought, you know what, let's start our own award ceremony. We're a magazine that focuses on women. Our core audiences are women. Who better start an award ceremony than us? That's how we birthed Exquisite Ladies of the Year, and this was in 2009. And we've been consistently celebrating women of excellence every year since 2009.
The EMAC Walk, which is one of her projects as well, is a movement targeted at increasing awareness of breast and cervical cancer, and also offers free screening for women.
According to the WHO, 1 woman dies every hour of cervical cancer in Nigeria. And it was very shocking and alarming for us. And we thought, okay, we're a magazine that services women. We need to, the onus has to be on us to find a way to get this information out there and get women getting their screenings done. That's how we started the EMAC Walk. This year is our 10th year of always, sending that message out about cervical cancer, getting people to get screened, getting people to know about it and also get screened as well. So we offer free screening services during January and September every year. I'm inspired by the fact that I believe God deposited a lot of stuff in me that I have to release onto the world before I leave. So help me God, I live till, a very long time.
Tewa Onosoya is a remarkable woman with so much more ahead of her to birth.
Welcome back. Now, Wake Up Nigeria prides itself on bringing the best people to come say hi. They come, they sit on the couch, and they look like normal people, normal human beings. You wouldn't know that on the couch we have an award-winning filmmaker, Ekene Mekoye. His strong interest for photography spurred him to produce and win several awards at some of the biggest film festivals around the world.
Now he is here to talk about his work and so much more. Welcome to the show, Ekene.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I mean, I was telling them when we're having like a little banter how Sylvia, and mine is just Sylvia. I know you've done other works, but Sylvia was it.
Yeah.
Because I was telling them, imagine you meet someone in your dreams and then you go to sleep. You know, sometimes when you sleep and then someone wakes you up and you're like, oh, I was enjoying that dream, and you can't go back. But the thing that in the film, every time he went back to sleep, he was the
went
same
back
girl.
to you.
So I want to know what inspired the story.
Okay, I mean, I had no hand. I'm confessed, I had no hand in the story. I mean, it was written by. I wouldn't say very wonderful mind, but not just wonderful, but terrifying mind. Her name is Vanessa Kano, and she did justice to it. And I'll tell you, it's virtually the only script that we went to shoot like that without amending anything.
Wow.
It was beautiful. I mean,
So
right
no
from reading the script, we're like, no, this is it.
This is it, yeah.
Awesome.
I was going to touch on script and actually getting to do the film. So I know that a lot of people must throw scripts at you that, oh, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. What is it that makes you stop and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do next?
Yes, I think that's a very good question. Especially for someone like me, I'm very big on story. I'm not that, a lot of people say, oh, I love your cinematography, picture looks this, that. Story is king for me.
Yeah.
I spend months, if not years, developing some stories. I have stories I'm going to tell in the next 5 years that I'm really working on. Yes, I take my time on story. And so the question is, and the truth about story is that even from my journey from Lekki to here this morning, I could make a film from it.
Oh, wow.
So the question now is, out of all the stories that you come across every day, which one, how do you pick your stories? And the honest truth, I don't pick those stories. Those stories pick me.
Wow.
Okay.
There's a point where the story grabs you and it's not going to leave you. And you know, this is it. It's difficult to be able to say, okay, many more. No. There's some that you know you go to bed, you are thinking about the story. You wake up, you are thinking about this story.
Yeah.
You know, funny enough, one of the, most probably my next one, was something I heard from one of your presenters, Wale Popopo.
Oh, wow, Wale.
And I
from
heard that
radio.
story and I knew that I was still working on it. So, so at times, and that story would not leave me. Right from when I heard it till now. It's so, so that's how it happens. And you just know, I better do this in order to have peace. Otherwise, it will still haunt
It will haunt you. Now, as a producer, you know, there are producers who work back to back. And then there are some producers like yourself who will take their time. Now, how do you manage to sustain yourself in the times when you're not shooting back to back to back? And we know that the funding, the returns are not as great as the investment.
Another interesting one. Yes, thank you for that. Now, I'm also very honest about this. And that's why it's good to do good work. You know, I told someone that, do you know that I doubt any Nigerian musician made as much money as Michael Jackson did last year.
Wow. Wow.
Last year, like Michael Jackson did?
Yes, last year.
Last year.
I'm not talking about.
No, before. Just last year, in 1 year.
When you have good work, in the next 10 years, it will still be making money for you if you understand the business of it. So one of the things I've taken my time to do is not just find myself in the creative space. Yes, I am a creative head, but to also understand the business of it.
Yeah.
Hence one of the reasons why I went to do an executive MBA at LBS.
Yeah.
Because I went to film school in Hollywood. I will never forget that experience of coming out from the train station and seeing the head office of Universal. I was in Universal Studios actually.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, there are some banks that their head office is not as big as this. And I remember how it came out of a mountain pigeon. I said, man, I feel money, then you build this thing.
I know.
You know, one thing a lot of people don't realize that it's also a business, not just a passion.
Yeah.
And if you understand the business side of it, and I'm not just removing it, because I started my career in creating TV programs, working with Mnet and later MTV. So when you do good work, you know, there's a content I created, and for 3-4 years,
you were earning from it.
Sustaining me.
So I was actually going to touch on earnings as well, you know. So we've talked a bit about scripts, but something else that filmmakers do is they do things like TV commercials and stuff like that.
Yes.
And that seems to sustain many filmmakers. But then you come across some clients that are telling you, what to do with their money.
Yep.
And that can be challenging. Have you ever had those kind of challenges, and how do you handle that?
Unfortunately, I haven't met any of those.
Okay. They just trust you with their money, and they just say go.
So I haven't done any TV commercial.
Okay.
So most of the works, when I left paid employment about 7 years ago, we decided to create our own things.
Okay.
So I have been creating my own things since then. It gives me that liberty to be able to. But yes, but you do have investors who come, and the truth is, I mean, he that pays the piper, I don't even...
you don't fight it.
No, it's the truth. So it's just that you have to realize that maybe there has to be a place of compromise to know, okay, do you know what? I can go 50%. Anything above 50%, I am not going. So anything between 0 to 50, you can tolerate it. And so it's just knowing that from this and people should, I believe that when you do good work, people also learn to trust you.
Yeah.
To know that, okay, do you know what? I mean, look at his antecedents and we know that, don't worry, we know he will do it, even though he's telling us, because it happens to when I'm shooting at. I remember now doing my first project and working with big stars, and they were looking like, this guy knows what he's doing. But by the time they come and see the playbacks, it got to a point where even if I told them roll on the floor,
they would
just
roll. Now, talking about working with the big names and the big stars, how was it for you managing them and, being who they are and getting them to drop their personalities and take up characters without you getting on their toes? How was that for you?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, especially when you're starting and you're not known. It can be pretty difficult. I jokingly tell a lot of people when I'm shooting that I am the only celebrity on my set.
How do they take that?
Even though that's not true. But it goes back to what I said earlier. The truth is, at first, especially actors can be a bit insecure. They need to be able to trust you, that you will be able to do enough work to represent them well on screen. That if you say this take is good, they can trust that take is good. Because at the end of the day, if an actor doesn't really do very well, the audience don't say, this director did not direct this actor well. They say, this actor doesn't know how to act. So I understand that as well. And that's why I take my time to, it's hard to say I've met any actor on set. I spend time with the actors before we go on set. And we discuss the characters, and I've never loaded on them. So this is how I want you to do it. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are going to inhibit this character. So by the time we spend time in doing adequate pre-production, it's when you go on sets, it's just seamless. And when they understand that this guy knows what he's doing, it's very easy for them to submit. And because at the end of the day, every actor wants to do a great job. At the end of the day, and once they know that this guy is all about doing a great job, it's very easy for them to submit to you.
All right, so you have a potpourri of so many different things that go into making a production. We're actually running short on time now. We have to go to the kitchen in a bit. But I wanted to ask, what is it that is most important to you? Getting the right shots or getting the right actors for your movies or for your films?
It's like a chain, and at the end of the day, the weakest link would always be a problem for you. So they are all important for me. But what is most important for me, like I said earlier, is having a good story. Because if my audience can be lost in the story, they would not necessarily see that actor is not doing very well.
Okay.
They would not necessarily see that shot is not that good.
Okay.
Because if you look at how Nollywood started, we didn't have, every sound was bad, picture was bad, acting was this, but they could...
Right, and now we're in the kitchen.
So where do we place this?
That is such as in that trailer.
Can you guys see all the work that I'm doing
yes,
here?
We can see.
Yeah, we can see.
Lots of work trying to...
Chef Juliet has been hard at work making fish burgers.
Fish burgers. Look at that, very nice.
I have to say, it looks amazing.
Right.
It looks so good. Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Yes.
I was told not to have breakfast on my way.
What this amazing piece is about. Are you shy of your own delicacy?
Okay.
So this thing in the middle is actually fish, right?
Yes. Okay, so just quickly run us through how you prepared this.
How you prepared this.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So what we actually did was we watched her mold fish, blended fish. So this was frozen croaker fish. She blended it with spices. She added
As in actual
blend.
Blended.
Blended.
Oh, okay.
Then she added some flour in there, and then she put it in the pan.
Wow.
Okay, let's have
absolutely amazing. Well done, chef. Please have a taste.
Oh, so where do I start from now? The burger or okay?
Well, the burger is the focus. Come on, the burger is the focus. Yes.
Okay, so I'm supposed to have a bite and tell you what it tastes like.
Yes, please.
All right, I have the pleasure of doing this.
Please do that.
Oh, look at all that
Did
juice.
you feel that?
All the juices were doing exactly what we wanted.
Okay, so when can I come again for
You can swing by tomorrow.
Good question.
And a big thank you to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories on the show.
Yeah. And of course, a shout out to everyone who was part of the show today. We'll be here again bright and early from 6 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great
See
day.
ya.
Bye.